Today I'm going to show you how to create a library for yourself right inside Final Cut Pro of 3D models that you can bring into your Final Cut Pro projects. And I promise you, it is just a few simple steps that I'm going to walk you through right now. But the best part is these 3D models are totally free. Let me show you where to get them. My favorite place to get 3D models is a site called Sketchfab. Sketchfab has an enormous library of 3D models, many of them for purchase, but some of them are free. So right here in the search field, I just like to type in the word free, and you want to make sure you click this button here, downloadable. And here are pages and pages of free 3D models that you can download. And if this is overwhelming for you, just hop back up to the top and drop down on categories. Let's select this car, and here where it says download 3D model, you want to make sure you're picking the correct file format. This is very important. The file format you're looking for is USDZ. Now there's many other sites online where you can download free 3D models, like for instance, TurboSquid, but I can tell you from experience that Sketchfab has way more USDZ models on it than TurboSquid does. So I like to go to Sketchfab. You might also want to check out an app like Meshy AI, which allows you to use text prompts to generate 3D models. I did a whole review of that on my other channel, and I will link to that down below. Or if you want to create your own 3D models, you can use an app like Polycam 3D, which I've also talked about in the past. I'll link to that review down below as well. So I'm going to go ahead and download that USDZ file. Now, the next step we need to take is in Apple Motion. Apple Motion is Final Cut Pro's companion motion graphics app. If you are a Final Cut user and you don't have Apple Motion, what are you even doing? It's a $50 one-time fee. I always say it is the best deal in the App Store, and it allows you to do so much more in Final Cut Pro, like the trick I'm about to show you. So if you're not yet an Apple Motion user, I promise you, you are going to easily be able to follow along right here. This is super simple. So when we first open Motion, here is our project browser, and what we want to select is a Final Cut Pro generator. I'm going to set my frame rate to 60 frames per second, and I'm going to have a duration of 5 seconds. Let's open it up. And if you've never seen this window before, I can understand this looks a little bit intimidating. Don't you worry. It's just a few steps in here. So the first thing you need to do is from your Finder, drag your 3D object into this window here. This is called your project pane. And then this is your canvas in Motion. It's just like the viewer in Final Cut Pro. Then I'm going to head on over to what's called the inspector. Stay with me. I promise this is so simple. And then you're going to click down here on properties. And this should look super familiar to you. These are the same settings you see in Final Cut Pro. So I'm just going to crank up the scale of our car so it's nice and big. And then I'm going to twirl down on rotation, and this is different from Final Cut Pro. In Final Cut, you can only rotate on the Z axis, but here in Motion, you can rotate on the X and Y axes as well. So I can spin this car all the way around 360 degrees and this way as well. I'm gonna reset that X rotation, but I'm going to leave the Y rotation so we're kind of at a 3/4 angle of my car. And I think I'm even gonna pump up the scale a little bit. Let's go to 500. And now from here, on this rotation line, you're gonna hover your cursor till you get this little down caret, and you're going to select Publish. What this is going to do is enable you in Final Cut Pro to rotate your object on all 3 axes, X, Y, and Z, instead of just Z that Final Cut allows you to do. Now we need to tell Motion where we want this element to live in Final Cut Pro. So going up to the File menu, Save As, and it's going to ask you for a template name. So you're just going to call your template name whatever this object is. So I'm just going to call it Porsche. And under category, you want to create a new category, and you're going to call this 3D models. And hit create. Sometimes Motion will hang here a little bit because it needs to go over to Final Cut Pro and tell it to create this new category. So you just have to wait a second. All right, now we just hit publish, and let's head on over to Final Cut Pro and find our car. And here in Final Cut Pro, all you need to do is navigate over to your titles and generators sidebar. And under generators, here is our 3D models category that we just created. And here is our car. I'm going to drop it into the timeline. And then if we head on over to the generators inspector, there are all of my rotation controls, and I can spin this car all the way around. Now, I wanted to keep this motion tutorial very simple for new motion users, but you can add these 3D on-screen controls in Apple Motion, so you can make all of these adjustments in the viewer instead of the inspector. But that's a much more complicated tutorial. So what I am going to do is drop in that template that does have those 3D on-screen controls into the Google Drive for members of my Patreon community and the top tier members of my channel memberships here on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, join my premium community. And if you want to add more 3D models here in Final Cut Pro, it is such a piece of cake. All you need to do is select that first 3D model here in your browser, right-click, and open in Motion. And it's going to open our Motion project back up. Now all you need to do is select your next 3D model, drag it out of your Finder in your project pane over your original model. Make sure that that line item in your panel is blue, and then you're just going to release your mouse button to replace your first model with your new model. And then again, on this rotation line, you're going to hover your cursor till you get this little down caret, and you're going to select Publish. Now, one thing I'll show you about this is that when I rotate this sneaker all the way around, the edges get cropped inside my canvas. So I'm going to reduce the scale because you want to make sure that no matter how you rotate your object, it's not getting cropped in your frame. I like to make it as big as possible so it's easy to see in my browser in Final Cut Pro, but you want to make sure that when you rotate it, none of the object is out of frame here in Motion. Okay, now we just need to go up to the File menu, Save As. Under the template name, we're going to call this whatever this object is. And we don't need to make a new category. We already have a category, so it's going to land again in 3D models and just hit Publish. And then here in Final Cut Pro, there is our second model. So you can keep repeating this process as many times as you like to add as many 3D models as you want. Now, let's see these 3D models in action. So I've got this shot here of this woman crossing the street, and I want to place my car as if it's parked right here along the sidewalk. So we're going to be using a combination of motion tracking and keyframing in Final Cut Pro to achieve this look. So the first thing I'm going to do is add a tracker, and I'm going to track these columns here on the side of this building. And I already have made a much more detailed tutorial about motion tracking in Final Cut Pro that I'll stick down below if you're interested in watching that. Okay, so now that I've tracked my clip, let's go in and grab that car, and I'm going to connect it on top of my primary storyline. And I'm going to use the rotational tools and the transform tools to reposition my car in the frame so it's at the right angle and scale and looks like it's parked right here. And I'm not worried that the car is kind of covering our subject here. We're gonna fix that. So now that I've got my car in place, I'm going to link it to the tracker on the shot below. And then I'm going to go back in and disable the rotation. I personally don't think that the rotation tracking in Final Cut is great. And if I run my playhead, it's moving with the shot, but it's not perfect. That's where the keyframing comes in. Final Cut Pro's native motion tracker doesn't really track in 3D space, so we're going to cheat it a little bit. If you are looking for a 3D tracker, Motion VFX has a great one, but you do have to pay for it. If you're interested in checking that out, I will link to that down below for you guys. But we're going to now enhance this with some keyframing. So I'm going to cue up my playhead to the beginning of my timeline, make a keyframe on X, scrub down to the end, and reposition the car so it does feel like it's up against the curb. So I think we've got the X position pretty well worked out. Now I just want to work on the rotation, so I'm going to go back to the generators inspector, and I'm going to make a keyframe here on the Y value. And then at the end of my shot, we're going to rotate on the Y so the car feels like it's more head on, which makes a little more sense. And I think I'm going to go back to the video inspector, to the X position. Now that we've rotated a little bit, I want to tuck that car closer to the curb. Okay, I think this is pretty good. Now what we're going to do is address the fact that the car is laid on top of our subject. So what I'm going to do is use the magnetic mask. So I'm going to duplicate my video shot and stack it on top of my car. And I'm going to cut out our subject with the magnetic mask. And again, I have a full tutorial on this. If you want to know more about how to use the magnetic mask, I'll link to that down below as well. So now our subject is walking in front of the car. And so this car shot looks a lot more believable, but there's a few other adjustments I want to make to it because I feel like the color and the sharpness of it doesn't match the rest of the shot. So I'm going to select that model in my timeline, and let's add the color adjustments to this. And I'm going to pump up the black point and even lift the shadows a little bit. What I'm looking for is that the glass on the car windshield is going to match the windows in the building in terms of how dark they are. So I think that feels a little bit better. I also think this car is very sharp looking, so let's add a slight blur to it. And this 3D model came with its own drop shadow, but I am noticing that the shadows on our subject are really coming toward the foreground of the camera. So why don't we add a custom drop shadow to that as well? I'm just gonna try to match that angle. And I'm gonna dial down the opacity a little bit. And the last thing I think I wanna do is really make our woman, our subject, pop off the screen a little bit more so she stays the focus of the shot. I think that's going to help sell the car a little bit more. So I'm going to select our magnetic masked clip of the woman, and I'm going to add the color adjustments, and I'm going to make her more contrasty and more saturated. And this is going to keep your attention focused on her. And there is our finished result. I told you adding 3D objects to Final Cut Pro is such a piece of cake. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I picked out another video I think you're gonna like here, and I'm gonna let YouTube pick out something it thinks you're gonna like here. I'll see you guys next time.